Welcome here to Talk FCB and welcome back to the channel, guys. Once again last night, it was another disappointing display from this team and it was another damaging result for Ronald Koeman, which of course, now that our title hopes are pretty much done, the question is, next season, will Ronald Koeman be coach of Barcelona or will Joan Laporta, who is notorious for making bold and big decisions, will this be the end? And if it is the end for Koeman, is it deserved? The full picture, both sides of the story, coming up now. Let's get to it. Because indeed, in the local media right now, not just after this game, but even before this game, there were plenty of rumours starting to circulate that Ronald Koeman's future was far, far from certain, with Laporta and the new board at Barcelona far from convinced with what they've seen from this team over the past few months. And indeed, the question will be, this summer, even though Koeman has a contract until 2022, will that be cut short? And would that be fair on the Dutchman? Well, I want to start first of all by pointing out the good things that Koeman has done, because that is the first thing that we have to do. Number one, he's a legend as a player. At this club, nothing will change the fact that he has always been and always will be a legend as a player. And also we should not forget that this is a guy who left his job of the coach of his own national team there ahead of a major international tournament. He paid his own release clause to come to Barça, and he was then one of the first people to take a pay cut during the peak of our financial crisis. And so Koeman has always been a man, no matter what you think of him, no matter what you think of his work, he's always had the club's best interests in his heart. Number two, what you also can't forget is that Koeman did all of that, left his job at the Netherlands. He was doing so well there, all of that to come to a broken Barcelona team. This is a team here that at the start of the season were coming off the back of an 8-2 Champions League defeat. We had a number of high-profile players departing in the summer. We still had Bartomeu in charge. We had Lionel Messi wanting to leave the club, all whilst in the middle of the pandemic, which has of course meant that Koeman has never felt the power, and it's a real shame. He's never felt the support of the full Camp Nou crowd. So look, what I'm saying is, it's not been easy. None of this for Koeman has been easy, and it wouldn't have been for any coach whatsoever. Which is why it actually makes it even harder for me to say, but I don't believe that Ronald Koeman is the man to take us to the next level, to enter here a new era under Joan Laporta. But that doesn't mean that I don't appreciate his work. The fact that I don't believe he's the man to take us forward, it doesn't mean that what he's done up until this point is worthless. Because I tell you what, this young squad, they will appreciate Koeman's work for many, many years to come. He has really set them up nicely here. He's brought them into the team. It's been an important transitional year. But to challenge the likes of Man City, to be up there with Bayern, to beat Real Madrid in La Liga, to beat PSG even, to be back at the very top of world football, Koeman is not the coach that I would select, and here is why. Because if you're looking, first of all, at our season at face value in terms of the out-and-out facts, we lost the Spanish Super Cup, the first trophy that we could have won this season. We just about reached the final, of course, beating Sociedad on penalties in the semi-final before we lost in the final to Athletic Club in extra time, which was a damaging defeat for the club. After that, we then indeed were knocked out of the Champions League, which was a big problem for Ronald Koeman, limited there in the round of 16 stage against PSG, a team that indeed you would say reached the Champions League semi-final, but you would also say they were pretty easily brushed aside by Man City, and PSG this season, in Liga 1, they're not even going to win the league, and to concede 4 against them at the Camp Nou, that was poor. Of course, we did win the Copa del Rey. That was one of the most emphatic displays under Ronald Koeman. I'm really happy, to be honest, that he got to experience the trophy, that no matter what happens, nobody can take that Copa del Rey away from him, and he'll always be able to treasure that title. But in terms of La Liga, it's not been good enough. We right now, with a few games to go, we look like we're going to finish third, behind Atletico Madrid and behind Real Madrid, in what is one of the worst Real Madrid teams in a long time. And even their fans would admit that, even looking at their attack, aside from Benzema, who's there for Real Madrid right now, they have had injury problems, their squad has not been looking good, and we still have finished behind them with the likes of Lionel Messi. But this is the thing, we could accept just a Copa del Rey, we could accept being knocked out of the Champions League, finishing third in La Liga, not really living up to the heights in a transitional year, if there was something to build on, if there was something there in the big games that you thought, you know what, we've just been unlucky, we just haven't really worked it out, but next time we'll get it right. I do not get that sense from Koeman, because when you look at the big game record, it is shocking. Honestly, guys, it doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter whether you like Koeman, whether you don't, this big game record for a Barcelona coach, you don't survive this. You do not survive there losing back-to-back games against Real, failing to beat Atletico Madrid, losing there for the first time in La Liga to Diego Simeone, getting hammered at the Camp Nou, remember, when it really mattered against Juventus. All we needed to do in that game was avoid losing by 3 goals. What did we do? We lost by 3 goals. And of course, even, it's not just the big games. Losing against Granada when we could have gone top. Even last night against Levante, it is not good enough. As a Barcelona coach, you need to win the biggest games. You need to challenge. You need to show something in the biggest of moments. And Koeman, time and time and time again, it doesn't matter how many big games we've had, we have not shown that next level. But unfortunately for Ronald Koeman, it is not just that either. It's not just the fact here that we're losing in big games. It's not just the fact here that we're not getting results. What I really have been frustrated with right throughout Koeman's tenure as Barcelona coach is the in-game management. Where has it been? Because even now, as we're coming to the end of a full season, a long season, I am yet to have any confidence whatsoever in Koeman changing a game. Either by way there of subs, a lot of the time there, the players that he brings on, the timing of the players, it is all off. It doesn't really change the game in a positive way for Barcelona. Take yesterday, take Granada. That in-game management, it is not good enough. And every time, I've said it before, whenever we go behind in a game, do you ever feel as though, yeah, Koeman is the man who's going to change this for us. He's going to make that tactical tweak. He's going to win the game in our favour. He is not that kind of coach. And that again, at Barcelona, it makes things difficult for you. Then, unfortunately, again, comes the excuses. Because I have to say, whenever we've had bad games, whenever we've lost in a big moment, what you want your coach to come out and do is ultimately give you some answers. Try and find a solution there for the problem that we have. And looking at the way that Koeman responds after bad games, he just doesn't strike me as a man who has the answers. Repeatedly this season, after disappointments, we've heard Koeman blame referees, VAR, individual mistakes, individual players. He often says then that he's the one who's responsible, but then just a few quotes later, he contradicts that statement entirely. And I just wonder here how that affects the players. Because not only then, when your coach is looking for excuses, not only does that not inspire us as fans, but looking at the players, it gives them an excuse. When your coach is out there talking about all the other things that may have gone wrong or may have not gone in your favour, you feel as though, oh, well, we can get away with that then. It wasn't really our fault. And I just don't believe that Koeman there has the answers, has the solutions to find a way for this team to win consistently. And if Koeman doesn't have the answers, you can guarantee on the pitch, the players, they won't even get close. Finally though, guys, it is one of the most frustrating characteristics of Ronald Koeman as the Barcelona coach that we are finally going to discuss here, because I want to talk about the stubbornness. I want to talk here about the fact that Koeman is incredibly set in his ways, and he really does not like to change, even if it's a detriment to the team's performances. And of course I'm talking here about his treatment of Riqui Puig, but it's not only him too, the likes of Miralem Pjanic. Even recently, Trincao has been nowhere to be seen in this team, and it just feels as though, right now, the personal agendas, they're getting in the way. Because you look at the way, again, that he used Riqui Puig yesterday. When we conceded that equalising goal, final moments of the game, then he throws him on. What does he expect him to do? What kind of statement there is he trying to put out? And that's the problem. It feels as though every time that he uses Puig, it's not to help the team, but it's to make a statement. And I have always said, those personal agendas, those problems there with players in the first team, they won't hurt the player. It won't hurt the player long term. It will hurt Ronald Koeman. He will pay for those kind of agendas, because ultimately now, it's his job that's on the line. It's his job there that is under threat. And even it's been reported in the media that Joan Laporta, he cannot understand why Riqui Puig isn't playing. He cannot get his head around there the way that Ronald Koeman is using Puig. And like I've kept saying, those agendas, if they get in the way of the team and the performance, it will only hurt Koeman. But of course, guys, like I have said, it is very, very important here to say, you know what, maybe we need a new direction. Maybe we need a new leader to take us forward into that new era. But that doesn't mean that I don't appreciate what Koeman has done in this transitional year. It's something that needed to happen. It's a transition that we certainly had to undergo. But now it is time to make that next step. Laporta has huge decisions to make. Of course, we're going to be talking about who could replace Koeman. That is, of course, a massive question. If you are going to get rid of him, who comes in? That, of course, is an entirely different video altogether. We may be talking about that soon, but let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Is this the end for Koeman? Should it be? What are your feelings? And of course, guys, I will see you soon. Thank you for your support. We will keep on fighting and hoping that this summer, it's the beginning of that new era. But until next time, as always, Visca El Barça.